There we go. Hey.
Good afternoon, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. How is everyone doing this fine evening? Welcome to Cover Me Cute.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. How are you doing today, Granny?
I'm alive. No complaints that they gonna change nothing. I just got a whole bunch of people in my
I hear you. I hear you, sis. I'm
Oh,
happy to be here. But we're going to get started. I'm going to jump right on in. I'm going to start us off with prayer. Please
please. Yes,
seek the
ma'am.
position that's most comfortable for you. And in your head, please follow along. Prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the day of requital. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for aid. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favor, not the path upon whom thy wrath has been brought down, nor those who go astray. Say he allows one, allows who we all depend. He begets not, nor is he begotten. There is none comparable unto thee. I mean.
Amen.
Well, once again, welcome to Cover Me Q. This is our podcast. This is your podcast where we're going to be discussing all type of things, fashion included, but outside of fashion, current events, and real life situations, which
Come on.
brings me to our today's topic, which Granny is going to introduce while I get us set up on live for Facebook. Go ahead, Granny.
Well, today's topic, I don't know, it is, do you debrief your children after school? It's a very serious conversation, and I hope that we have a lot of help with this today, especially if you have children who are younger still. Salam alaikum, love. I saw myself on her TV. Walaikum salam, Sister Michelle. How are you? So let's share. If you can, please share this with your Facebook pages and everyone you know, because this is a very serious conversation that I know that we don't talk about it a lot, but it's something that makes a lot that we really have to really peruse even more, because especially if we send our children to public school. And the question is, do you debrief them after school? Do you talk to them? Do you see how their day was? Do you make sure that things are going right with them? Do you deal with the different topics that are handling going on today? The main one is, have you even made a plan for if there's school shooting? So it's a lot of things that we have to go through today. And I hope you guys help me, because I really don't have too many little ones in school. I have my grandbabies and I have my one. They're still sheltered in the school they're in, which is a blessing. But I still bring them home and I still sit them down and talk to them and make sure that they're not being bullied, that certain conversations are not being had, and I see what they call the lunchroom, or certain people are not saying certain things, and make sure that we have the main question is nobody is being touched, taunted, or anything else is going on. So I would like to get started. We're waiting for sister. Our sister right now is actually, she's on live, so y'all give her some love on her page if you're there. But the main question is, once again, is, do you debrief your children after school? So the main one thing I like to talk about is, the first part is bullying. Do you talk
Yep.
to your children? When they come home, do you look at the different mannerisms that they may have? I noticed that from when they're little, that they're real active and things, but it's a lot of little signs that they give that shows that I'm not having a happy time. I know mine, even though he's special need, he'll get up and go,
Right.
no school, no school, no school, no school.
Hmm.
And that made us kind of question, why is it that you didn't want to go to school anymore? What made you not want to go to school? I'm sorry, guys. I have all my children that are running around.
That's okay,
What
Granny.
made you
That's
not
okay.
want to go to school? What was going on, or who was saying something to you, or what was being said to you? And they
Right.
come to find out that a little boy was calling him stupid.
Aw.
hmm And the little boy was picking at him and pulling his hair and doing little things like that on that level. So all those little things, that was something that, even though he is, like I said, he's special need, but I still would sit him down and talk to him and try to
Right.
figure out the best way I could of what was going on with him. You know?
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. And
go ahead, Mister.
no, I was just going to say that even with a child, with special needs and things like that, we have to make sure we go above and beyond and making them aware and stressing the reality, to make sure that they get it and that they understand, the importance of, and like you said, being able to pick up on signs. I was going to say, well, what signs? And you said, like you said, he was saying no school, no school, because someone was bothering him or calling him a name. But good parenting, as you did, you picked up on those cues and clues. And before we go any further, we want to say that we are missing someone today, aren't we, Granny?
Yes. I didn't.
Yes,
I
we
want
are a
to.
trio that is incomplete. So we want to make sure that we let everybody know that Sister Mariam, one of our master seamsters, she is not with us today. She is taking care of business, but she's in our thoughts and prayers, right, Granny?
Yes, she is, and she is honestly doing what we should do with our children. Have one-on-one time with our children. And when you
Yeah,
have multiples, that one-on-one time means a lot because it gives them a little time to actually maybe say things to you that they can't say in front of their siblings. Maybe some things
yep,
I can't say in front of daddy, or maybe certain things I want to talk about to where everybody be in our business, or just that little extra little bit of love that we used to give them when they were little.
exactly.
Because I noticed that I was listening to Dr. Kumfunji, Jawanja in Kunji. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, but y'all know who.
Hmm.
The
Right.
brother basically saying that we have to continue to give our children the same attention that we did when they were little.
Come
And a lot of
on.
times that we stop giving them that attention. He said mainly in school. He said when they were in first and second grade and kindergarten, you were there, you were all cheering and everything they brought home and all the little circles
Yep.
and stars and dots, you just was happy. But then when they got
Yep.
third and fourth grade, you kind of slow down a little bit.
Yep.
They got in high school, you some of us became not even active anymore. We're not even there.
Hmm.
You come knock on the teacher's door. Are you making sure your child is still being nurtured properly? I can say my sister on here, Princess, she has a high school. I'm think he's probably 11th grade now. She is super duper active with this little man. When I say
Yay.
he is wherever he's doing whatever he has going on, his mama is front row. And I love that about her because what she's doing also is showing him that I'm here to watch and to guide you, continually guide you through this process, And he's
Hmm.
in public school now, which was different. I'm quite sure it's a culture shock. I'm talking about your sister princess, but I love my man. It's such a culture shock, but you can see the difference in him between other children.
That's a blessing. And
You
that's
know.
a blessing. And like you said, Sister Princess, she's hands on doing
Mm-hmm.
that training, taking that lead, because really that's what a mother is, whether we birth them and there are natural children, whether there are stepchildren, adopted children, whether there are grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Sister Princess stepped up to the plate and
Mm-hmm.
is doing what needs to be done.
And he is in the honor society.
What? Get out.
Yes, how about that? I hope I'm saying
Get
the right
out.
pronunciation. If not, to type in the chat what my little man is got into. But for a young black man in this civilization to be and to hold an honor and to still be in love with his studies without, and to be in the killing field of this devil school, it means a lot, and we should congratulate them
Hmm.
as much as possible when they get. Because I know to come from a Muslim school, he had to kind of maneuver, and I know mine did. Mine were completely sheltered. And then they were thrown in public school, and they were like sharks and little guppies in the shark water. And I can see the difference in them when they had to go to public school. I had one that he just would stop bathing. I was
Mm.
like, what is this with this child? He does not want to wipe his tail, but he just completely stopped bathing. It was almost like it was his little way of, how can I say it? He was rebelling.
Mm.
And his rebel was, this is where it was. And I had another one. His rebel part was he just, he didn't want to, he would dress up to where his whole mission in school was to look the best.
Mm.
And no matter what I had to do to get these clothes, look a certain way, I had to fit in with these other people and to make
Mm.
myself fit in. And I had to watch his mannerisms because he started becoming a little ugly too, on a
Mm.
level of to where you were starting to adopt the different attitudes of the ones around you. Well, alaikum
Mm.
salam, brother Mutaka, and please chime in. I know you have little ones, but if you have older ones or just to understand the school that you being a minister, chime in, please, and help us today. And she says, absolutely right. It is the National Honor Society. So we're going to give a little love and hand clap for our little baby. He's in the National Honor Society.
Yay. Hey, Granny, can you put the comments on the screen so we all
Yes,
can
ma'am.
see?
I'm sorry. Okay, let me go. My
That's okay.
bad. I got caught up running my mouth and forgot about that part.
That's okay.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, since I'm
Okay, yeah. So I was going to say, just to build on to top of that, being proactive really is a detriment now. It's like a life and death matter, because I know my youngest ones, They do go to public school. This is their first year actually going to public school because I homeschooled for many years. I had at one time I had four homeschool in one time. Little ones and teenagers. They was in high school, so I had a lot going on. So this time it's like a change of pace. I introduced a new method, to my family, and sometimes, I think it's important for us to be able to know that it's okay to do that as long as we take like proper precautions. And it's definitely a family decision. What I'm saying? This is something that, I wouldn't dare do on my own, but this is something that me and my husband was able to come together and say, you know what, let's try to give this a try. The school is a couple blocks away. So, in case of emergency, I can get to them. They can get to me. It's also an opportunity for me to train them and let them know because we walk. So
Yes.
this is the path that you can go,
Mm-hmm.
and multiple paths, not just one way, but multiple ways. And, as we walk, I point out the streets where the street signs are, and I make them sound it out or, tell me the name of the street. Or just walking, we count. Deek's not really good at putting his numbers together, so now we're doing equations as we're walking. So
Come on,
it's
come on.
also, yeah, it's also, building time with your family when you're being proactive, like Sister Princess says, was doing with her children. And that's really how we raise a nation, because it takes that. It takes those walks to school. It takes
Yes.
those
Yes.
equation problems. It takes that repetitiveness.
Yes.
Like you said, listening to Neo, oh, no, 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 no school. Well, why is he saying that? You took above and beyond to investigate to see where this concern is coming from regarding, your young cub.
Yes.
And that's what we need as Black women today. And that's why I think a lot of these teachings, that's given to us from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, because we don't have to know it,
Yes.
coming into the teaching. We don't know it. Once we get to the teaching, that's when we learn it. Then that's when, all the magic happens. And I'm sorry, go ahead, read the comments.
Oh, you can read it. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Sister Princess Harvey says, I've had people attempt to make fun of me for being so active, although he's in high school. What I try to explain is it doesn't stop. They
Yeah.
have to know we, as their parents, are here and we care. And
Yeah.
that is so true. Like, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. We don't stop loving our children, do we? I
No.
hope we don't stop
Man,
loving our children.
no,
So
ma'am, we
at
don't.
no point, should we ever stop really, like she said, teaching and training them.
We never stop. We never
We
stop.
never stop.
I think they start working on nerve a little bit. We kind of
Right.
I kind of run a little bit, but we never stop. Brother Mutaka said, I'm having some apprehension because my oldest will be starting public this fall. Unfortunately, we do not have an MUI here, and I hate that I have to send my son to the white man's killing field. But you know what, brother? You have I noticed when I had to send mine, the start that we are giving them is such a powerful, blessed start. We're training them to understand who God is and to know who God is and to understand who they are, and to embrace the love of their self and their people and their kind and culture, to where your children are going to actually navigate much better than you realize. They really
Hmm.
are. And I didn't even realize and know that I had one at one time. Once he kind of maneuvered himself through public school, he was taking his message to the black man to school, and he's in there debating children, picking people
Look
on
at
purpose
that.
to go debate because he liked to argue. But
See, look at that.
I didn't realize that this was going on. I had an actual counselor come tell me because he was in trouble for arguing one day, but not realizing what he was arguing. He was arguing the teachings, and he was teaching the teachings, and they were on the bus teaching the teachings. So your children are honestly ready for a lot. But this is what
Hmm.
we talked about, debriefing them.
Right.
When they come home, they have to know that no, the gay ABCs is not right. No, no.
Right.
And Miss McGillicuddy's wife is not right. No, she should not have a wife. She should have a husband. And
Right.
all this, you are not a boy. You are a trans. What is this? All a neutral gender? No, you are a boy, and the
Right.
girl is a girl. And boys do different things than girls do. They have different parts and pieces. And we have
Right.
to keep continually teaching our children this all the
Right.
time. Don't let this devil and his new little machinations and madness that he's trying to do confuse our babies.
Right. And just to add on to that, to Brother Mutaka, then we're gonna touch on what Sister Princess said. Brother Mutaka, we all hate that we have to do that. We don't want to do that, but it's still, we're still at war. So we still have fighting mechanisms that we can, as family members, we can do. Like,
Come
I
on.
pack my children's lunch
Come on.
like every single day. Like, no matter, I don't care sometimes if it's just turkey, pepperoni, and crackers.
Come
You
on.
know what I'm saying? I'll make sure that they have something, and then when they come home, they have like a full course meal or a snack or whatever. But I'm just saying, we do what we got to do to cover down.
Yeah.
And I noticed, my daughter was coming home and her lunches was always just missing. I mean, always just empty. And I'm like, Soraya's not a big eater. And I would put 2 drinks in her thing because she'd be like, I'd be extra thirsty. And I'm like, so I talked to her. I said, what's really going on with the lunches? And Soraya likes to give her friend food. You know what
Oh.
I mean? So now that I had the conversation with her, I told her that was okay. So now I know to pack a little extra lunch, but I wanted her to know that it was okay. Like, you don't have to sneak the food.
No.
If you want to feed somebody, like, we can do that. But that still comes along with the territory,
Yes.
Brother Mataka, and still talking to the children, like, constantly, like, what did you learn? Not like to the point where you drilling them like, oh my God, Mom, I can't, but we have to find creative ways and find scientific methods to communicate with our children and be like, what is on your mind? What did you do today? What is your teacher's name? And just make it so plain and simple where they want to tell us their day, like, genuinely be interested in what's going on with them.
Come on. Come on. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And because that's where I am at a point in my life, because we know that if anything was to happen to our children, like, we gonna cause some damage. So we try to take every precaution and make sure that none of that, takes place. Are you frozen, Granny? To make sure that none of that takes place. Yeah, I think she's frozen. But and Princess says people don't realize when you're involved, teachers and faculty even treat your child better. I bear witness to that because I am on the PTA. I have constant communication with email with both my children's teachers, not only through email, but then it's another app, a school app, Class Dojo. They have my cell phone numbers. They know, go ahead, Granny. You're back.
No, go ahead. Go
ahead.
Okay,
so they have my phone numbers. They know, that my children do not eat any pork. As a matter of fact, I had one of my teachers called me. She was like, Sadiq was eating some chips for breakfast. Is that okay? Because she like normally, they got the food and the water and everything like that. I was cracking up. I was like, Deek think he's sick. But yeah, so they, like she said, the teachers, they'll be on board.
Yes.
Because honestly, the teachers really do want the parent participation, but sometimes we be so wretched and ghetto. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even know how to approach us. But I'm not gonna hold you. I did get into it with like the my little Deek's counselor, because first of all, she's not my complexion. She's but she called me. She called me with a disposition already. Like, I just want you to know that it's it's like a new attendance thing. The children can't be. And I'm like, I get that, but who are you talking to?
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we gotta be like, that comes along with the territory too. Like, I am not a slave.
No.
And if I am a slave, I'm not your slave.
That part.
So you're not gonna talk to me like that. So anyway, we had the conversation. So now when I go up to the school, she don't even look at me. She just goes.
Cause you cry because they think that's one of them radical ones. You gotta watch out for her. Yes, because when they knew if you call Miss Muhammad, Miss Muhammad's coming down to the school. Yes, and I have come to the school in my headpiece. And then they I can't even say the word. They damn sure didn't want to call Mr. Muhammad. Because if Mr. Muhammad came to the school, you could feel the ground shake when he walked through the door. I mean, I literally used to watch children part like the Red Sea. They were like, oh no, because you didn't see many mothers come.
Right.
And my children were treated better since because I came. And because I dropped them off at school every day and I picked them up and I was there and if you called me, I was coming to bust a head. Yes, ma'am. It made a difference. It made a true difference. And we had to deal with a lot of different situations as they got older, because one of the main things that I know, my daughter was in school and she gets mad at me because I said she has recessive hair, but her hair is long and it's curly. So when she got her hair straightened out one day, the little girls at school start running their fingers through her hair. And everybody was running fingers in her scalp. And she's like, Mom, why are they always trying to run their fingers? I said, they're checking for tracks, baby. They're trying to see if your hair is real. So they literally, so that was frustrating to her to where she just took her hair and started wearing it in ponytails and she wouldn't wear it down anymore because no, I do not have tracks. This is my real hair. But then after that, it became a constant, talking about, well, checking is your ponytail real? It just was all kind of little madness that was going on to where I said, these poor children have it too. They just can't even go to learn, sit down and have fun no more. It's now become, I'm fighting for my life in this place.
Isn't that something?
But imagine if we weren't talking to them, how would they deal with it? Sister said, is anyone else's child having this problem? Since all of our children have problems in school.
Yes.
When they took the schools and start putting these big old gates up, got them look like prison system. We all are having problems with our babies. And first of all, yes, I want to go back. Brother Mutaka said, congratulations again to Sister Monique on MGT of the Year.
Oh,
we want to give her flowers. My sister was awarded MGT of the Year. She was the first MGT to ever win that award. Let me make that part clear. A high honor, a very high honor. And I was so blessed to watch her at the beginning of it, the stressful parts of it, the ending of it, and the unwinding and the unveiling of the beautiful gift that she was given on her mother's birthday. So we so thank the sister for seeing and finding a value in my beautiful sister to give her that high honor. She deserves it. She won't snap her fingers for herself, but I will.
Praise be to Allah.
And the brother said a beautiful reminder, yes, of everything that we do with our children and the constantly to be on them. Walaikum salam, Sister Trini.
Yeah, and just to I forgot this part. It's to Brother Mutaka, because we have to be constantly in these teachers' faces. Like, I am that mother that's on the PTA. I am that mother that is at that parent-teacher conference. And it's so sad because the numbers be so low at the parent-teacher conference. I remember one time I was the only parent at the parent-teacher conference for the whole second grade. And I was just like, yeah. And I said, because, when we have our children in these school systems, as parents, we have to be proactive because you're just feeding them to the wolves, because you don't know what type of bad habits these other children have that's in this classroom. The cleaning habits, you know what I'm saying? You can tell with the moms that come pick them up, they be having on the shower caps, they be having on the fuzzy slippers and the pajama pants. When I go pick up my babies, I ain't trying to have no fashion show. I usually have on a hoodie, some solid black jogger pants, some boots in case I got to run and fight in a town.
There you go. But I'm covered and I got my fighting clothes on if I got to.
You know what I'm saying? So like we send these children to school a lot of times, Granny, and we leave it to the teachers. You know what I'm saying? We expect the teachers to teach our children, when on top of that, we should be coming back teaching them even more because what they're being taught is a lie. Yes. And that's another reason why our children are not interested. Because as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, we don't see ourselves in these books. They rewrite the history and the lie, and they shove it down our throats. You know what I'm saying? Why we can't never have no black faces on currency? We billionaires, we spend money, we spend billions of dollars each year, but a black face can't never been on a dollar bill in a country that we built with our blood, sweat, and tears, free labor for over 400 years. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And we still ain't got reparations.
No, and give us 1 month out of the year, 28 days, and have the nerve. This what really got me. We had a Black History report when my son was in school, and the people they had to pick from was Oprah Winfrey, Chris Tucker, Tyler Perry. I said, no shade to them, but for whatever their craft, and they're doing it to the top of their level. But is this the best you can pick from?
Exactly.
Is that all we show our people now? The buffoonery and the coonery, and this is what our legacy has come to.
Come on.
And then we look at now the devil's fighting so bad he doesn't even want us to even talk about what he's done to us in school. How about that part?
Yep. You can't even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? They get offended.
Sis said, is anyone else's child talking suicide? Ooh, sis, that's a deep one right there.
Oh, no.
Because school is really affecting the baby. And when your baby is getting that deep, that means my suggestion, I will pull them out.
Yeah.
Pull them out, because whatever's going on in that school, it's now it's becoming to where they're really to end their life to not to be there. Take them out. What are they still there for? Because what are they truly learning in this school that you can't teach at home? The most Elijah Muhammad said, anything you want to learn, get it from a book. Go pick up the book. You can learn anything in a book, whatever you want to learn. You can teach it yours. You can teach that child better than better than they being taught that six different classes with 6 different emotional people, with 6 different people who don't even care about them. who are
Facts.
really, once your child passed the third grade as a black male child, they're not even learning to the level of their highest level of that they should be at anyway. They stop teaching our children at third grade, black males. They stop with science and math.
See?
If your child is in a certain schools, that if you don't pay attention, they'll have your baby in 10th grade still doing addition and subtraction.
See, look at that. Look at that. Big facts. And Sister Michelle, if a child is discussing that, that means that this is affecting their mental health.
Yes.
It's affecting their mental health. And sometimes as parents, we might not have faith in ourselves. We might not be like, well, I didn't finish high school. I don't know how to teach them. But it don't matter. If you have the will and the desire and the drive, look at Venus and Serena. Their father taught them how to play tennis from reading a book, just like you said, Granny. You know what I'm saying? So we tell our son, you know what? You're going to be great. And you're going to study this. And this is what we're going to do. And you study it day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? What they going to do? You know what I'm saying? Our babies are brilliant. They pick up like that because we feed life into them.
Come on.
But they go to these schools, like Malcolm X said, the teacher was saying, oh, you can't be that. You ain't going to be nothing. And Malcolm X was one of the most brilliant black men that had ever lived.
Walk the face of this earth. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we it's important to for those who can teach their babies at home. All praises due to Allah, but a lot of times we can't do that. But like you said, we still have to debrief them, and that's just not once a week. That's every day. That's
every
like constantly.
Single day.
That's like constantly. That's like letting them know, like, listen, nobody should be touching you right there. If you got to go to the bathroom, Soraya, you go by yourself. If somebody asking you, can they come in with you? That's wrong, and you tell them no.
And we don't walk to the bathroom by ourselves. No, ma'am. You have someone holding you. Go with a friend at this point. Yeah. So, Jocelyn, I saw you. Walaikum salam, fam. As Sister Cam's in the 10th grade, and I still volunteer and go on field trips. And they're usually there are no parents on the field trips. See? Let's make that point clear. And then when the parents do go, that is not your friend. That is your child. Right. And stop coming to the school I went to passing by school and I had to put my head down. The mother had on a pair of shorts, and please, y'all, I'm not trying to be offensive, but her shorts was so short that I have undergarments that were bigger than what she had on. And you literally came out in front of the teacher to pull your baby out of school like this. Then what do you expect them how they treat your baby when look how you come and present yourself?
That's terrible.
So why should they even respect your child? Why your child is at this point? They look at your child as being raised by a savage. So we have no fear of how we handle or deal with your child.
Exactly. And you got to know them teachers is coming to school for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? We can't be so silly to believe that these teachers out here love our children. Like, how many of us are that foolish?
And they're not getting even paid enough to really even have an inkling of real love. How about that part? They're not getting paid enough. I mean, so then most of them are scared because most of the children now have no respect. When you actually beat up a teacher because you can't have this or can't have that, but then I got to tell them, what is this child doing to your this teacher doing to your child? When we were younger, sister, my mom used to have the rollers. Come on, but our mothers would go. I know my mom did, and when I got older, she apologized, but they would run down to the school because Miss McGillicuddy told them you were doing this and this and this and that. And they never stopped to ask you, why are you down there cutting up? Mm-hmm. When the teacher said you did it, I know you did it. No, ma'am. Becky was over here talking crazy to us, as the only handful of black kids in the whole class. Yeah. Becky was asking me, I had one, Brad asked me one day, when they say grease, did your mom use Crisco? So come on, and child. Now we laugh at it. Go on, Buster, because it was true, but it was stupid.
Right.
I'm a child. What kind of impact did you make on me? Ask me a stupid question like that.
Right.
Now, and I wish my mom would have pulled me out of that school because of the impact back in my generation. I don't know how old most of you people are here, but my generation, it was like a high honor to be the only black kid in the class, and they put us on these buses and sent us hours away to these schools that were supposed to be so much better. But 90% of us came out kind of warped and messed up.
Right.
So, but my mom did a beautiful job. And to where one thing I can say that kept us balanced was every night we had dinner together. And that's what they debriefed us.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And a lot of people have shied away from that. Even my family. I need to establish that type of structure in my family as of right now, because everybody do their own thing a lot. But another thing to add on to the situation as far as like the school systems and stuff, like a lot of our children act out when they rebel because it's not enough of us in the school systems. And it's so many that in the school system that don't relate to our children. They're unrelatable. You know what I mean? Like I was working in the school systems when I first moved to Philly for the first 3 years, and it would be situations with the children that needed to be dealt with, and I knew how to speak their language. Sometimes I had to come as a loving mother aspect. Sometimes I had to come as like, I will roll my sleeve up and meet you in the schoolyard at type of aspect, because I ain't no punk.
That
You
part.
know what I'm saying? And sometimes I have to come sit down and just really talk and educate, because they just ain't never been told. You know what I'm
Never.
saying? So these type of things, we don't have that in the school system. We don't have the real genuine love. So our children are gonna act out. They're gonna rebel, and then they don't see us themselves in the school books, like I said before. So that's why it's important to debrief our children constantly every single day and be involved as a parent. Like even if you want to have like a little powwow, invite the children, their classmates to a birthday party. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Just have a rapport with the parents. Like, so in case we ever need to stand together as a wall, you know what I'm saying? We're not foreign to one another. Like, I always make sure that I talk to the parents, the mothers that be up there, especially the black ones. And I make them speak to me. How you doing today?
Yes.
You
Come
know what
on.
I'm saying? Yeah, and I make us be civil to one another. I be cracking jokes. They be talking about pork chop. I be acting like it's funny and it's not. But still, you know what I'm saying? They know, like, well, at least she be up here. I be standing guard. I be looking for pedophiles when I go to the school. Where's going to a law? That's just how my mind be operating. And yeah, so we always got to just cover down to every aspect. And so sometimes, brother, we talk in the audience, sometimes our children, we are in the school, sometimes we act as an angel to somebody else. Like, I didn't know that Soraya's classmate wasn't getting enough food at home, so now I pack extra school lunch and this, that, and the third. Or these teachers be like, I'm so grateful, Sister Muhammad, when your children come to school, they're so well behaved and blah blah blah. So it's pros and cons to everything. But Sister Michelle says, I've experienced this. My advice would be to get that baby in therapy as soon as possible and get to the bottom of whatever's going on. Yeah, talking about the mental health with the suicide. I
Yeah.
definitely agree. Granny, you want to take the floor?
Immediately on that one, sis. Therapy. And one thing in the black community, we run away from therapy. We have been blessed through the hands of the Most Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan to bring us the technology of auditing. And
Yes.
auditing does help. Take your baby and get your baby audited. Even if you have to take the baby yourself, and it's a grandma trip, and go, and because even though we're the grandmother, we still have a heavy burden to help with these children, to help to raise them, to keep them balanced. Because I know mine. I always say I'm trying to do better with the grandbaby than I did with the mamas and the daddies, because I'm quite sure I gave them a lot of little unbalancedness. So whatever I messed up in them, I'm trying to fix it with the grandbaby. So it's okay to take the grandbaby and to help and to sit and talk to the grandbaby. Maybe that baby just needs you to sit down and just be that ear that they're not getting sometime at home, because the moms are busy, just like we were,
That's right.
And then the noise has come to be the detractor for our children is this, because we are addicted to it too.
Come on.
They're TikToking, and when they should be talking to their children, and they're dancing, and they're on Instagram, and everybody has a this and a that and a that and a this, and the little babies are little, and I mean, I've never seen a generation of little babies that when you move in front of them, they posing. They're posing. So that means that we are spending too much time on things that are not relevant to these children than we should be.
And can I please add to the little TikTok thing? So Soraya's into the TikTok. Like, she loves the little video to record herself. So she's not allowed to put up her real name, and she doesn't have a picture. She has a picture of a teddy bear as her icon. And so anyway, so she's like, doing little TikTok things. And I said, Soraya, do you ever just like get tired of the little dances and stuff like that? I said, do you want to do something different? She was like, well, like what, mommy? I said, how many little girls your age is putting TikToks on about cooking cupcakes? I said, nobody. I said, if you did that, and I said, with your head, with a headpiece on, I said, you would go viral. I said, you would go viral. I said, if you use terminology, how we doing our MPT class, use measurements. I said, that's what you give the people. And so
You,
she was like, I don't know how to do anything. So I said, okay, well, now I know I got to, I said, well, come on, now I got to teach you how to make cupcakes. But I'm just saying, it's just the involvement and, giving our children different things and goals and expectations, because she never even thought about making cupcakes to go a viral on TikTok. Because her things is, Mommy, I do the videos, but no one gives me likes. No one gives me likes. She wants to get likes. I said, well, if you want to get likes, I said, when me and Granny, when we start our sewing class, I said, that's what you put on TikTok. I said, that's how you going to get the likes, So, yeah, we got to be proactive like that with our children involvement. And then Trinice says, and King Richard didn't play. Granny, you on mute. Okay. I am always active in my children's school to the point I would take children home after school or functions if their parent didn't attend. Okay, only children that I know of course. See, all praises due to Allah. That's you taking charge of that post. And those children that came with you during that time, they were under your care. You know what I'm saying? No harm came to them. I don't know if the parents ever, said thank you or not, but I'm pretty sure, the parents were thank you for gestures like that. And that's when you put good vibes out in the universe and think good things come back to you. So that's what's up. That's what's up. And of course, only children that you know, because we got to be extremely careful with that. Somebody could be crazy, like, I told that lady to take my child and give you kidnapping charges and all type of craziness.
yeah.
But we don't want that. Yeah, go ahead, Granny.
Oh, Carmen is my cousin, and we're so thankful for her support.
Oh,
We see her every week, and I know she's probably driving right now as she's watching. That's usually where she is.
Okay.
And she said, you've read it already?
Yeah, you can read it again, though.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to bear witness to her, what she's saying, because she has 3. And she also helped with her niece and nephews. And when I say this sister right here researches the schools they go to, the parents, them. The baby had a scholarship before she left school. In Wayne Junior High School, she had a scholarship to go to school already.
See, Carmen, I need to get with her.
Play.
I need to get with her.
I mean, one of her sons, he's so smart. I call him the holy man. But the holy man is not play. The holy man is so already in tune in what he's doing and what he wants, to where it's to, his future is bright. But his mom she's just like Princess. When I say she spends a whole bunch of time in making sure that they are what and where they should be and they're on track. Right. He understands that she works for the school district, so she knows how these teachers are, how the people are. So I must keep my foot in your backside and to show you that I'm not playing with you when it comes to my children.
Yeah. And look, she just said, I work for the school district, and just this week and heard about a 5th grader wanted to commit suicide. Oh, I connected the mother assistants with mental health unit. Mm-hmm. See, there you go. That connection. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That connection, because you never really know like who suffers from mental health. And we sometimes can't pick up on the signs of it either. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, and nowadays, I wouldn't even be offended. Like, if somebody be like, here's Sister Monique, here's your number for you can call, I'll be like, you know what? Thank you.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Yes.
Like, because sometimes I'll be needing interest. I'm like you said, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan introduced us tool of auditing. You know what I'm saying? Which is the diagnosis of the brain to help us to cope with all these traumatic experiences that we have endured and constantly enduring, just like sending our children to the public school system.
You're unlocking all those things in the back of your head that have made their way back there and are causing you problems that you don't even realize why you're reacting today on some of those problems, And one thing I noticed that I've been really digging in my grandchildren about, because you have children. I know when my daughter was in school, the last public school she went to before we took her out, there was a young man that was about 6'2". But this young man wore a skirt to school. Yes, he did. And he wore mini skirts to school. And we used to question, he's a little too big to be in a mini skirt. And then the skirt was super short. And you could see little pieces and parts that shouldn't be hanging out of skirts. And they said, well, by law, we can't say anything to him.
Wow.
So imagine what our children are seeing. And then there's another guy that I was watching on YouTube a couple weeks ago, and they finally asked him to leave the school, to where this Caucasian man had totally deformed himself to where he had size double F breasts. He had his lips blowed out, and he had a double BBL. And he would come to school in tank tops, and he had exaggerated nipples on the breast that he made for himself. I'm not trying to be vulgar. I'm just telling you what your children are seeing. And the children in the school were complaining. The parents didn't even get a chance to complain. The children were complaining. And we don't want to sit up in here with him like this. So when the children tell you you're disturbing us, what about that?
Right. That is crazy.
Once again, you can look at him up. He's on Instagram. Go look, type in. I don't know to type in, but I saw it and I was like, wow. And that was one of the reasons why I was like, are we really talking to our children? What are they seeing? What are our children seeing? What is being perpetuated to them, especially when they're older? Or when you have the babies that they're in elementary school, and I was watching another one my daughter sent me, because she was going to school to be a preschool teacher. And she said they were training them to tell that you cannot separate the children and explain to them that you're a boy and you're a girl. And that the child wanted to perpetuate itself or identify as something else, you had to nurture it. And this is what they wanted you to teach the child. They wanted you to nurture it. And she's like, Mom, I can't do this. I can't. I can't sit up amongst and help warp these babies like
that. I'm speechless.
It's real. This is what's going on. Especially you have to go on YouTube and watch some of these things where they're sitting in front of our children and they're telling the children basically, Mom, what is that? I have two dads. That's an actual real book. Becky has two moms. But these are the books they're reading to our children. We're not there. So we must ask you, what did Miss such and such and so-and-so say in class today? What did she talk to you about? Let me see the books. I know you saw the one where the little boy was in the library, and he went to the librarian and told her that this book has homosexuality in it. The librarian told him, did you want the one that's more graphic, more pictures? How about that one? So we have to get back to, I know you understand that we have babies, but we have to get back to those dinners. I really appreciate that in my mom and dad now, to where they would take that time and make us sit at the table. All the way until we was out of that house. Sit down. What happened today? Tell me what was going on. Let's talk about it. How was your day? Remember, we watched that on TV when we were younger. Well, how was your day? Mm-hmm. We have to get back to that. Even if it's just us in the car ride home. Turn the radio off. 2 Chainz is going to be there when you come back. Beyonce and all of them going to be there when you come back. What happened today?
Yeah.
And sis said, I feel like the children are more exposed to so much grown mess and they don't know how to just be a child. They're not children anymore. We have taken that away from them.
Yeah.
Society wants them to be adults.
And I also wanted to add that, the reason why I sent mine to, the public school is because my 2 younger ones were not happy at all with the homeschool. And when I say they were not happy, like, meaning they were like miserable to the point where it was just really like a chore to even get them to log on. Like, their spirit was so low that it didn't matter if I sat there with the lessons the whole time and was just like, go ahead and cheering them on. It didn't matter. And it's like, I had to know my child. Like, Soraya's like me. She's a social butterfly. Deke think he's timid and he's quiet, so he want to be home. But Soraya, and I said, okay, well, I switched, and she just like, oh my God, she loves it. She absolutely loves it. She is on the cooking club. Any type of program that they have, Soraya is there. She makes sure she texts her teacher. She has her teacher's phone number. She sends her teachers text messages. I'm telling you. Yeah. So, like, I'm just saying, it just depends on, like, you got to really try to just do what's best for your family. I just don't feel like it's no right and wrong answers right now. No. I just think we need to really tune into our children and be able to accept that whatever is best for them. And just because we may not like it, but it may be better for them.
But
That's
what?
just my personal opinion.
But the whole conversation is that you talk to her.
Yeah.
You help her. You're nurturing what she likes. You're nurturing. You're removing things from her that's not good for her. You're showing her, and you're giving her a proper, beautiful example of how she should be as a Black woman. So there it goes, right there. Even if she does go to public school, even if our children go to public school, none of my children are not online anymore. They're in school. They go to Muslim school, but even still,
Right.
hey, come here, come talk to Granny today. What's going on? What happened? Who did this and who did that?
Oh,
You
yeah.
still hear things. So, we do not, we're not going to act like just because our children are in private school or they're in a charter school or some special place we paid out of money, you still must debrief and talk to them consistently daily to make sure that somebody is not whispering in their ear things that shouldn't be whispered in them.
Oh, yeah.
Promise of the extra bad part is that some teachers try to impart their views on our children. We have to talk daily with our children. Have daily conversations. We really do.
Yeah. Oh,
we
yeah.
really do. And go ahead.
And also inform our children. Like I told Saray, I said, I let her know that I had words with her little counselor or whatever. I didn't give her go into great detail about it, but I let her know. I said, listen, she really don't like you, and she don't like mommy. So when you go to school, just be nice and be cordial with her, but just don't trust her. Like, you have to warn these children because they don't know. They think everybody is friendly. And I know for a fact that lady don't like me. So if you don't like me, you're not going to like my child.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell my child, I'm going to tell her, listen, don't trust nobody.
No.
But especially don't trust this one.
Come on. But at least you're honest and you're not acting like, how can I say, you're not putting on a blinder to, oh no, it's not, she may like, no.
And you know what? And since it's so important for us to play that role and be upfront because of who we connected to. You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, like, as far as like my husband, like, I don't tell my husband nothing. I don't call for him. I don't be like, you know what, go to so-and-so corner and I don't do none of that. Because if I ever come to him,
it's a wrap.
He gonna react. You understand what I'm saying, sis? So I got to make sure that I am 100% right. I got to calculate and recalculate before I say anything over to him because he is crazy.
How about this? Yasmin, as I said, the last day of school, the teacher, they had us in the desk and we were sitting there. And I took Daddy because I said, okay, this time to bring Daddy. Daddy goes in there and Daddy looked at her and she's explaining about you can't be homophobic and everything. And he looked at me and he said, it's not, no, they don't have a problem. They think you have a problem. He said, little girl, pick up your stuff and let's go. And he said, and sign her out today. She won't be coming back. It was no conversation. He wasn't about to argue with these people because their minds are so warped.
Yeah.
And the lady looked at his face and she knew if I say anything else, this man's going to crumble the school. So let me just go ahead and just sign her out. And that was her last. Because it was too much to deal with.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm not about to sit here and fight you, you sick people about what you believe in on this level like that. At this point, I'm talking to the wall. But what I am going to do is remove my child so I don't have to come back up here no more and deal with you on this madness. Because there shouldn't be a little boy up in here with 6 feet with a skirt on.
Granny, let me tell you, I tell people all the time, that part in Malcolm X when he did like this, I said, that's real. Like I said, the Muslims who follow Farrakhan, we will shut a whole city down if we are given the instruction to do so, and we moving in righteousness. You know what I'm saying? We don't care nothing about no police, none of that. National Guard, we don't care nothing about that. Like, we fearless when it comes to.
If I told you to go do it, go do it. Don't be asking me no questions. You're gonna handle it.
If Farrakhan say shut the city down, girl, I'm burning everything.
Twice. Come on. Sis said, I've had a co-teacher look at me crazy because I took a princess dress off of one of the little boys and she felt it was okay to put that on him for playtime. And she was the one who put it, perpetuating it on our children young. That is the new agenda, to perpetuate this madness on our babies.
That's offensive.
Very.
If I was that parent, I would have been like, I'm highly offended.
See? But you're not going to know. How about that part? Because they're going to take it off before it's time for you to come get your baby. But if you sit down and baby, well, how is school? Well, today, Miss Johnny put a dress on me, mommy. No, what? Huh? That's how you find out. We gotta still keep.
That's
My
unacceptable.
daughter's away in college, and we still talk. She even calls me on her own. Yeah, oh, wow.
See?
She calls you. You know, you're doing good.
That's what I said. But listen, Carmen is like, she laid that foundation years ago.
She called
and when the babies is calling you on their own now,
and it ain't for my credit card number, huh? You know.
Right. She took it to a whole new level right there.
When Brother Mutaka says, my wife, Sister Monique, my wife is the same. Trust me, brother. We all know how far and what not to tell y'all and to say and how to do. And when we do call you, it's because we are at the end to where we have exhausted everything that we can exhaust, and now it's time to see the concrete crumble. Let's see the concrete crumble at this point. You know, come pull out the people who eat nails. Pull them out, because we're done. We done already trying to be the pleasers and talkers and the sweet voice and the tone. It don't work. No.
Right, we the mercy. We trying to save everybody.
Something now. Here come the thunder peal. Here come the thunderclap. So this is brother said, we hear and obey. Yes, we do. We hear and we obey. We don't ask no questions.
No,
that part. We
Not
hear
at
and
all.
obey. And that's the blessing of hearing obey, because what happens is now when you move out in that one unit, then they know, like, oh, and fool with them. Which we must see our children also too, to hear and obey. To where when we tell you to go move, like you told your baby, she don't like you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So don't be up in there trying to be off handing Becky an apple. She don't like you. It's that part.
Yeah.
He said, I told that we don't do that. You see, that's right. You told him right. We don't put no dresses on no babies. It's not about it.
No. And then Brother Mutaka said a lawsuit would be filed.
But you have to know that they did this to your baby first.
I know.
But you know what the sad part about her being a teacher? She can say something, but can she file a lawsuit against this woman being in as a teacher in there? But if you don't know that your baby had this dress on, you can't file a lawsuit. All that's gonna happen is tomorrow they're gonna put a purple dress on him, because the blue one, the purple matches eyes better than the blue one.
That is crazy.
Wonder why your baby's at home asking your mommy, mommy, I like your shoes. Do they match this dress? No.
But you know the FOI, they're gonna say that. They don't care.
He ain't gonna file no lawsuit anyway. I ain't worried about y'all. Y'all ain't filing no papers. Y'all gonna file different kind of papers.
But no, it's another thing. Another benefit to having the children in the school system is because when you talk to the staff, like I intermingle with the staff. You know what I'm saying? I let them know, like, these is my children. You know, so the one lady came to me. She was a sister during Ramadan. She was like, I know you a Muslim. Can you teach me what is Ramadan? Yeah. And I started telling her about Ramadan, why we do it, the meaning behind it, and everything. And she was fascinated.
Come on, all praise to Allah. See?
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes Allah, he's strategic and he puts us in places. It's like chess. You know what I'm saying? We thinking, oh my God, I'm sending my babies off to the devil to be slaughtered. But Allah is actually using this whole type of situation to get to work in the mission.
Look at my little heathens. They was in there teaching it and had guests come to the mosque. Surprisingly. Not thinking they listening, but I guess the blessing of it also too is, I know me myself, sis, I was the rabble rouser. So what I would do, I would get amongst the other parents and start talking crazy and get them all riled up to go get this one teacher. Girl, can you believe? Would you let her do that to your baby? I was that parent, to where I got in the black mama's ears and I was trying to put some, remove the fear of them to make things happen.
Right. Come on.
As a united front, they have to now deal with our grievances. But if you're sitting there all coward and slunk over, and 10 of us is slunk over, and one of us got the sword. Like I was Harriet Tubman. I put the gun to you and made you go up in there. You're gonna be free. I'm gonna make you go be free. So that was that's how I was in the school. Sister, I told the mother so fast her head spun. I thank Allah that you told his mother. Thank you. We thank you. It's already hard enough trying to grow up, and they're throwing so much in these children. Wow, that part, sis. Yeah. And walaikum salam, sis from Belize. We thank you for being on and hanging out with us with your sisters.
Beverly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
But that is where it is. We have I really enjoyed this conversation, you guys. I love hanging out with each and every one of you. This was a very riveting conversation. I think it's something we need to come back and keep revisiting, because as our children grow up, we will see different things that that happen with them. And as Sister Mo said, public school honestly made my children tougher.
That part.
It did. They had to learn how to swim, and they have to learn how to assimilate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have to learn how to assimilate. They have to learn how to be able to maneuver in this world and that world.
Right. You make them survivors, like you said, because when we first moved here from Philly, the first thing my husband did was make us learn the SEPTA systems. He made us get on the trains and learn how each train run. It was actually to my benefit, because I ended up getting a job at the high school, and I needed that same train to get back and forth to work every day. I said, dang, my husband is so wise. I was like, I thank a lot for his guidance, because sometimes we be fearful. We don't know where we going. I don't have like a good sense of direction, but he had already prepared me. I was like, dang, that's a stress I ain't even got to worry about. I know how to get to work. And back and forth to work every day on my own. You know what I mean? That was something big for me, because I was always at home with a baby. So to go back into work field, but and
I also knew how to get around. If I had to get around and maneuver to get away from people, you understood that part too.
Yeah.
I know with Yasmin, when her first experience in public school, I walked her around the whole school. It was just me and her, and we walked to school. And she said, "Mommy, why are we walking so much?" Well, what Mommy was doing was, because Mommy had Vanguard training by the grace of Allah, and I was looking for emergency exits.
There you go.
When we talked, I think I told you about that, how Yasmin got away out of that class one day, and we were looking for exits and ways to where I could show her, if you got to get out of here, girl, this is what you do: get out, go that way, get out of here that way, and you can go around that way. And it was different ways and strategies of how to escape from the school.
You know what? That is so true. And not only on top of that, since you're talking about Vanguard training, we're supposed to go over exit strategies for the home for our children in case of a fire. And I got a lot of babies. We got a lot of windows. You got to know, like, listen, to go to the nearest window, you let the little ones out first, you go follow behind, you move out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be teaching our children these things, because you just never know.
You never know.
You know what I'm saying? In some of our training, like, we're really trained not to go to bed with just like little to no clothes on. You should have a full set of pajamas on in case you need to run out the house for your life. You are fully dressed, or if you need to go to the hospital or stuff, you know what I'm saying? You decent. Like
Us hot flash don't like you, but yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's true though. It's true. And what the main thing was, we were always taught at least a half a tank of gas in your car. But these are things that, as we're talking about them, we should also be instilling them into their ears also too.
Yes.
Yes. And this is my main pet peeve, and I'm gonna tell you, I remember when I was younger, why we gotta go every Sunday, oh my God, we gotta go to church every Sunday. Wow. But one thing she did, she said, everybody in my house, if I move, you moving too. So what we have to get back to is, when did these children get the opportunity to tell us where they going and ain't going?
And what they doing and what they ain't doing.
So when we have to remember to keep instilling God into them, the fear of God, the understanding of God, the knowledge of who he is, the wisdom of God, his messenger and his minister, and let them learn and continue to learn this, because that's going to help them to survive in that public school, private school, whatever school sector system, because we do not run it ourselves. And even those that do have them that run it, the messenger said, we can become hypocrite overnight. So you don't know who's sitting in front of your child. So you must consistently teach.
That's right. You gonna read the sister's comment?
Go ahead. I honestly got the light in my eye.
Okay, I was a tomboy, and this is Sister Trinice. I was a tomboy and played all types of sports and didn't want to wear dresses. And my mother was like, no, ma'am, you're wearing these dresses to church. I thank Allah for her.
That was me.
You know what I'm saying? Your mom made sure she enhanced that feminine side of you. She made sure, like, no, you're going to get this. You're going to be feminine. You're going to wear this dress and you're going to be happy. You're going to look good. So all praises due to Allah. That's a beautiful testament.
That's a beautiful testament. And we thank them for hitting us back in the leg. We had our putting the patent leather shoes.
Right.
And we thank them for popping us when we came in there and we didn't have no slip on. We thank them for that. But I know it's funny because I still sometimes with some of the sisters, captain or lieutenants, and walk back because I still have, I used to be a mad tomboy. I have my legs all open and my hands like this.
What?
And pop me. Close your legs.
What? Nuh-uh.
This is a comfort. I got comfortable, sitting all the time because I have more boys. I only had the one girl. So I was always wrestling and tussling with these boys, so I have to remind myself sometimes, sit up.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Yes,
we gotta wrap it up. We gotta get wrapped
Yes,
up.
ma'am, because I have them in there. I think they are about to explode. Well, once again, we thank each and every one of you for being on with us. Every week, our numbers are increasing, and we thank you for that. Please do not feel scared to like, share, follow, hit the button, notifications, or whatever it takes to let you know that we're coming back on. And go ahead, Sister Monique, let them know where you are and where you're from.
Okay, yes, my name is Sister Monique, the rap star Muhammad, on all social media platforms. I am Philadelphia, PA, Muhammad Moss number 12. Please follow me on all social media platforms. I am your local hair wrap specialist and accessory stylist. Also have my cleaning business, A Cleaning Woman LLC. Please follow that on all social media platforms. And I'm going to pass the mic to Granny so we can wrap it up.
And she just opened up her, she finally, I had to send her a plane ticket to me on my way to Philly because it took her too long. Please follow her new page. It is, come on, sis, I am the rap star. Tell them.
So yes, my YouTube channel, Monique, I am the rap star. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am no longer going to be like posting these head wrap tutorials because that's giving away free content, giving away my gifts. So y'all better enjoy it while you can, because if you don't subscribe to the channel and go through the process of actually, supporting me, then you're not going to be able to get the benefit. I charge for what I do. So that part.
Bread ain't free. Jesus said, get your daily bread. I don't know what Jesus y'all listen to. My Jesus said, get your daily bread.
Yes.
Sister, remember what your mom always says in Witness. What you I instill in your child, and instill in your child, they don't seem to be listening. No, they are. And they will reveal itself when time comes. Yes, my mama put a lot of me, and it's coming out. Bless her heart. Thank you for the wonderful conversation. We thank you. And I am your sister. They call me Granny. I am on platforms. They call me Granny. No, I am not clowning on social media no more as much as I miss y'all, but you catch me here. I am evolving. This little butterfly is evolving. But I still sew crowns by mahogany. Come catch us. You'll see my Tams. Tams will be coming soon with Monique have her head. Turbans, which we have on our page. And if you buy the turban and you tune into the Rap Star, you'll be able to learn how to do and learn how to wrap it and see yourself in many more things. So this is what we call Black Connective and Unity. And we coming together. And as one does one, she melded and meshed in. And now we are both being able to make what? $1. And bring you something that is viable and show you something that's beautiful and keeping you covered. We thank you guys once again. May Allah continue to bless each and every one of you for hanging out with us and enjoying us. And we will see you next week, inshallah. Have a fabulous weekend. We love you and thank you.
Love you.